Does it pick up well? Just don't want to be shouting for everyone at home.
You're all set? It's live. You're live.
Hello everyone, welcome to our live stream of the World Male Netball Championships. We are here with a match between Tennessee Wildcats and World Male Netball Strikers. My name's Jack, I'm here representing Florida Jets, and I'm joined by...
I am Delroy from Navigator Sports Club.
So World Male so far, they played 4 games yesterday and won them all. They're our 2-time defending champions, and Tennessee are looking for a space in the top 4.
I think this game should be rather interesting. The Wildcats are really playing good.
Yeah, they are. They've improved a lot on previous years.
And we will see some, I hope we see some exciting games.
Yeah, agree. So the call goes for Tennessee, so World Male throw away the first centre pass. It's a lost ball between Jerry and Jermaine, wing defence, goal attack.
I think the Tennessee Wildcats need to protect the ball a little bit more as they transition from one of the court to the next. They're not necessarily doing that yet, but it's early in the game, so we'll see what transpires.
Yeah, what they have a very tall shooter and a very tall goalkeeper. They're very effective, but yeah, you're right, the transition is letting them down slightly.
I think that's just inexperience from the goalkeeper, not jumping to get the rebound, because that rebound would have been amazing.
Yeah.
For first place.
To give away from the goal defence there. Stream slightly behind.
It's an interception now from the defender, the attacker from Wildcats,
If we
and
speak,
they make
it's
him
delayed as well. So whenever we speak, it goes through with the picture. So we're 2-0. In the battle between Caswell at wing attack and Jerry at wing defence will be vitally important. If Jerry can shut Caswell down, then they have a real chance of doing some good.
I think the Wildcats are really working the ball down and taking it slowly as they transition from one end of the court to the next.
Yeah,
I'm
agreed.
particularly pleased with that.
Yeah, I am. Because the goal defence and goalkeeper, Kareem and Arton, are they can elevate very, as you see there. As soon as you go for a longer pass, they will get it all day. So you have to keep the passes short and sharp and just build it.
The goal shooter shoots and scores. The score now is 3 to Worldmen's and 0 to the Tennessee Wildcats. That was an overexertion of the ball, and that caused a turnover for the Tennessee Wildcats.
They need to be careful because if they don't score soon, then Worldmail will take the game away from them.
I think they just need to play a level of control and consistency. One of their key players who usually play a control game is not on court right now. That's Damien Peart. He's not on court, and normally he's the one who takes control of the game.
Ooh, good
from the
call,
umpire.
very good call from the umpire. This is where Tennessee just need to calm down. They've turned it over, but now you see them waste it. Oh, they've got the ball back.
That was just a hard pass. That was just a hard pass from the attack and going into the goal shooter.
Do you think there's maybe an element of Wildcats being a bit intimidated by Worldmail?
Well, they need to develop a level of confidence to know that they too can win the game. The game is just 4 minutes and 30-something seconds left into this quarter, and the score is not far off. So even though both teams are making consistent turnovers, they're just Worldman is just capitalizing on Tennessee's mistakes. It's another one for Worldmen's, and Tennessee just need to convert and score their goals.
Yeah. It feels like they're rushing. Every time they've got the ball, they feel like they're in a rush. And Worldmail have got all the time. Here we go now. It's a good chance for them. They've still got it down that end. They need to convert here. Contact call from goal defence. This should be their first goal. Very nice.
Very nice. I hope this will help to boost their confidence, because sometimes as a goal shooter, once you score that first ball,
Absolutely.
it changes everything. Your confidence is boosted and everything is back to normal.
Nah, see, that's what they've got to avoid.
They just have to, the Wildcats just have to protect the ball a little bit better.
Yeah.
They can see the strength of the Wildcats. No long passes. They need to drive in the paint. They need to drive.
Ooh.
They need to drive into the paint to get the ball down. Shorter passes, because the arms of the Wildcats of the Worldmen's team, they are very strong, and not they're very long. And not only that, the Worldmen's usually use experience.
They read the game. The defenders read the game very well, and they've got to be careful, because even just throw a little fake just to see where they go in. But at the moment they're trying to rush it, and Worldmail are.
They're not playing their game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's important that they do.
First shot, goal attack. First goal. It's a very nice goal. The score you're seeing on your screen is 4-0, but the score is 4-2.
And this score actually shows the great level of netball that's being played here this morning.
Absolutely, yeah. World Mail will not be happy with the 4 goals or 5 goals in this time. They'd want more than this.
Maybe the defenders are somewhat containing them and causing them to make turnovers.
The errors are very high on both teams. Oh, goal attack takes a tumble. He's up and he's okay. Oh, as unlucky, the goalkeeper read the fake. Good shot.
Very good
It's 5-3 with 1 minute 35 left. This is good from Tennessee. Very good.
And they're slowly creeping. They got an infringement, and they're trying to make
set the penalty.
It wasn't set, so now they got it easily, and now they threw it away.
Yeah, that shows. That's exactly what this quarter's been about. Forcing errors and then making them straight away afterwards.
I think it speaks volume to the education of netball. We need to be aware of the rules and what we can or cannot do. And sometimes we play, and we are very good players, but we don't understand the technicalities and the rules and the regulations of the sport.
Yeah.
So the center has the ball. To the goal defender, back to the center. They're playing shorter balls. Back to the goal defender.
See, that's better.
They're working the ball slowly down the court. They're looking.
It's nice work from the centre.
Very nice work.
What the centre has to do, the Wildcat centre needs to be right up to the circle edge, and there you saw he was about a foot away, and that's what let the World Mail centre able to come in and take the ball. Good! Unlucky again. So it'll be our last shot to end the quarter, the time's about to end. So Kurt will be allowed to take the shot. It's a free shot. He scores! 8-3 is a bit harsh on the Wildcats there. They probably deserve to be a bit closer, but their downfall is of their own making, I'd say.
I would particularly like to see a more controlled game from the two-time defending champions. I think they're rushing the game. They're not playing. This is not usually their type of game. I don't know if they're trying a new strategy from their coaching team. I don't know if that's what they came out to do that. But it's not working in their favor. They just need to play a little bit more control, and people need to drive the lanes. I see that they're opening the court, but nobody's driving them.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, I don't know if maybe it's a bit of a complacency from them. They think that they can come on and win easily, so they're going to try and just blow them off in the first quarter. But it's not happening. Whatever their plan is it's worked to an extent, but 8-3 they'll not be happy with that. And it could have been 8-3 the other way. Wildcats were unfortunate. I think if Wildcats can just settle down, both teams here have got coaches with them, so they're both just talking to the teams now. I think if they can just settle down a tiny bit and, like we said, drive through more, make shorter passes, not risk the long ball across the court.
I know, like the Tennessee Wildcats, I think they have a good group of guys. My issue, my concern with them is that they have a tall shooter, and everybody's trying to pass the ball sometimes from the top. That's what they were doing the first 5 minutes. They were from center court. It's easier to work the ball down on the top of the D and pass the ball right over. Once the ball is placed properly, there's no defender that can intercept that pass.
Yeah,
I think that's what they need to work on. Taking care of the ball, protecting the ball, running through those small spaces, shorter passes. The goal defender and the goalkeeper exceptional when it comes on to reading netball. And that goes on to say when I spoke earlier about understanding the language of netball, understanding the rules and the regulations, what I can do, what I cannot do, how I read the game, how I play. And sometimes, for me, I think netball is 80% mental and 20% physical.
I think for them, they need to understand that when they've got the ball, World Mail aren't going to score. But sometimes it's once they've made a few passes around the edge, if they can't go straight in, they have to force it in. But that's not the case. If they've got the ball, they should be happy with it, no matter where they are in the court, as long as it's going to Tennessee hands every time.
Right.
Then they can take as long as they need. They don't
They
don't need to chase the game.
No.
There's only 5 goals that can be made at very easy. That's two or three turnovers and they're there. So.
And they're right back in it.
Mhm. Ball bounces everywhere, somehow ends up with Tennessee ball on the sideline.
Tennessee backers need to protect their ball right now. They need this goal. They need this goal. For more reasons than one. They definitely, and they're not protecting the space as you see a while ago.
No,
the goal defender came from the back and just ran right through that space and got that ball. And it's important for them to protect the space because they have it. They need to. They're trapping the goal attack.
And once Tennessee have got the ball on the circle edge,
that's a long pass in.
once they're on that circle edge, it's 2 against 2. But at the moment, the World Male defence are working together, but Tennessee are not. They're both come in and they're both go in. Need to work on that partnership.
Into the circle. I don't know if they're tired or they just came from a break.
Yeah, it's their first game of the day. They should be fresh to an extent. That's a nice drive.
Very nice drive.
That's good.
Goal
Very
attack
well
shows
played.
scores.
Very well played. So now a 5-9, 4-point game. World Male centre pass. Oh, that's unlucky. Good rebound.
Rebounding.
So here we are, turnover, but they've got to look after it, and yet again,
It's another turnover.
straight away it gets turned over.
They're getting so many gifts. They need to capitalize on these errors from Worldman.
If they don't reduce their errors, they're not going to win. They're not going to get anywhere near.
I am particularly pleased how they are working the ball and they're taking their time. That's what's going to cause.
That's a good pass.
Very good pass.
Oh,
There's a contact on the goalkeeper.
good. And again, as you said earlier, that's possible because they're on the circle edge where they need to be,
Yes.
and then the pass can go over.
I think patience, consistency, and control is what's going to make it for the Wildcats and also for the Worldmen.
Oh, wow. Did well there. Centre stayed patient.
They need to become more available. Very good
Good
pass.
ball, very good ball.
Very good passing.
And there we see what they can do when they throw the fake.
Yes.
The defenders are drawn, and then the goalkeeper shooter was free under the circle all on his own.
Trying to make an attempt to pass the ball to the goal attack, which was it was intercepted by the goal defender. It was a deflection outside.
See, and there we see what the centre wasn't doing earlier. He's right on the edge, and then the ball can't be intercepted because the centre can't get round. 2 shots, 3 shots, and he scores. Score now for those at home is 12-7.
was a horrible mistake from the goal defender.
Yeah, there was 2 of them there waiting for that. Again, there we see if the fake was on, then they've got 2 defenders out the game, and the rest of the court's open for him. But good work, goalkeeper. That's very good. That's important.
Very important. They need to play the short passes. They need to stop running away from the ball and run towards the ball.
Because World Mail used the overhead ball a lot to the shooter because he's got good elevation. So if he can cut that out, then that will help.
But they use their quicker feet. You realize the goal defender usually is very quick on his feet.
It's another good shot from the goal attack. That's 13-7 World Mail Centre. So here we're seeing what can happen. With a couple of errors, the game can get away from you.
Away from you. Totally.
Ooh.
It's so important.
Yeah.
To keep up with what's going on the court.
As you said, it's 80% mental.
Yes.
If you just have to make the right decisions again and again and again, and you can't be beaten. But neither teams are doing that. There's not, yes, World Mail are winning, but they're making lots of errors.
Their playmakers now on the court. He shoots and he scores.
Very good shot.
Very, very good shot from the goal shooter.
With tall shooters like him, they often only shoot when they're right under, and they can sort of lay up. But he was out and he backed himself, and good goal. Yes, very good.
A good marking from the goal defender.
Yeah.
He's applying some pressure on the goal attack, and it's causing the infringement.
Which is important because the goal attack for World Mail, Kurt, is their captain and very often their playmaker. So if the goal defence can keep him out of the game. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's done well to get the ball, but he fluffed the shot.
I think they need to practice the right things. It becomes habitual, and it also enhances muscle memory. If you're doing the right things all the time, naturally when you have the ball, you're going to do what you have to do.
So they tried the long ball on that occasion. It's worked for them. Like I said, they do have that shooter with the elevation, but
they need to play, in order for them to actually get back into the game, that is the Wildcats, they need to play control netball, play their game. The long passes, pump for the ball, drive for the ball, drive towards the ball in order to get the scores, because the long passes are beating them.
oh,
The long passes are beating them.
yeah. And there you see a bit of rush, a bit of excitement with the big pass. They've rushed it, and now Tennessee have got it, and they've got to capitalise on this. Oh. She's called offside against the wing defence. That is a let-off for World Mail. It's just a pass because it's offside, so he can't shoot the ball. And now they're given contact against the goalkeeper. Shot.
The score is 17-8 to World Mail. You see a change from Tennessee Wildcats from centre.
Yeah, and before that they changed the wing attack as well, so I think the wing attack is a more experienced player, probably less mobile than the last wing attack, but they'll be looking for him to bring the control that they've been lacking at times.
It's a good save from the centre.
Yeah,
and the goal attack is working the ball down. He shoots
good shot,
and scores.
good shot.
Very good shot for that. They have to build on the momentum though, and keep the adrenaline going as they transition the ball from one end of the court to the next. Teams need to play their own game. And sometimes we get caught up into the playing style of the next team, that we lose what our mission was. Because I'm sure every quarter a team has a different mission. And they're going to work on their strengths and improve their weaknesses. But sometimes we get so caught up into the next playing style that we forget what our job was.
That's unfortunate for the wing attack. There was a bit of confusion over whose centre pass it was. The World Male centre held the ball, and the wing attack just came in. There's 20 seconds left here. They'll be looking to work that ball in. The contact call against the goal defence.
Get another chance to score that ball. It's 14.2 seconds left, and a lot of things can happen. He can make the shot, or he can make a pass.
Yeah.
Because he has enough time to not rush the ball, not rush the play, and hopefully he can score for his team.
Lots of teams, as soon as it's less than 30 seconds, they try and rush, but 30 seconds is a long time.
It's a long time when you play netball.
Are they going to try and take the centre? Yes, they are. In it goes. Big ball. That is good play. It's good play. It's a nice pass and a good take. Tennessee have got to be wiser for things like that, I think. Game management. Someone needs to slow that ball down.
Absolutely, and not only that, when it comes, they know what the setup is going to be. They also know that the time is down. The crowd is excited, and they're calling the plays. So it's important for us to pay attention. They should pay attention on the court, see what's going on, and then they're going to make that long pass in because of the clock.
Yeah.
And therefore, just double the goal shooter.
Yeah.
That would have been easy, especially with the height of the goalkeeper. Just play close on him. But what I see is that the goalkeeper is pretty young, inexperienced.
Yeah.
Not really understand his function, his role, and his responsibilities as of yet. But once with the proper coaching, and you can see that there is growth. Last year was his first year, and he was okay. This year he's a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I'm particularly pleased with that.
It's the same with the goal shooter. That athleticism is there. He's tall. At times he does things well, but the coaching, if they can just enhance it, can be very dangerous players.
It's hard to get players development when people live all over the country and all over the world. And you have when you have like the Wildcats, some of them may live in Tennessee, some of them may live in New York, some of them
are English as well,
and some of them are English. So therefore, it is important that when it's time for the tournament, they have to tend to have a camp, so they come them maybe a week before, so they can work on the synergy, work on the cohesion, work on different stretches, different plays, hoping that they can, whatever, everybody's been training in different areas, so therefore it is important now when they get here, the coaches now say, this is what I want you to do. And then you see their type of playing style, and then you try to make some corrective measures at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an important point because there's no team here that all live and train together regularly. You guys have got a lot of guys in New York, haven't you?
Yes, we have maybe 7 of our players live in New York, so we get a chance sometimes to play together. Sometimes we have to also be mindful of work schedules. Some people work in corporate America, some people work in the military, some people work all over. So sometimes it takes them away from New York. I think my team is usually a traveling team. They're all over the place because we have some all over the country. But at the same time, most of our guys are in New York. So some of the time we get a good feel together. Maybe on a Saturday morning we can get that. But then again, in New York, we only get 90 days of summer.
Yeah, of course.
Because right now it's chilly, so nobody's training outside. And if you're training, you have to be fully warm clothes, long sleeve, and everything. So even though it's supposed to be fall, it's getting there now.
Yeah, I think it's the same for a lot of teams. I know Elbasan are all live in Trinidad, but I don't know if they live near to each other or if they're able to train together. I think Kinetics are fairly similar. I know Jets, who I play for, we've got 3 of us here from England, 3 live in Jamaica, and then 3 live in America. So that's obviously, there's no chance of us training together other than in the lead up to the tournament.
Right.
And again, work schedules don't always allow people to come for a full time before the training.
Absolutely.
So I think that's important. There's teams like Tennessee who have lots of potential, good players, but at the end of the day, if they're not playing the same level of netball, because I think it's hard to replicate the levels we have at the tournament and the physicality and everything else. If they're not having that same level, then it's difficult for them to develop as much as they want to, and they might develop as the tournament goes on, but then by the time it gets to the end of the tournament, there's no more games for them to show that in. So as you said, we've seen improvements from them definitely from last year, especially the tall keeper, tall shooter. but they'll definitely continue to develop as the tournament goes on.
I don't know what their coaching team is doing now. I don't know what the captain is saying, but I hope that they're asking for energy, synergy, court movement, court awareness, and how they work the ball from one end of the court to the next. Well, all World Male men's team needs to do is to score their center pass. The score is 20 to 9, so and in their favor. So all they need to do is to just score their center pass. It's not a rush game. It's control. It's speed without accuracy is impractical.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense to keep running on the court and getting an interception and throwing them away. It doesn't make any sense. So I think World Men has a comfortable lead, and in order to maintain the comfortability of that lead, they just need to score their center pass.
Yeah, they just need to keep their hands on the ball. I'd be interested to see what they do with changes. I know in other games, if they've been up by a lot, they've started to rotate a lot and people try to play different positions and everything else. From what we can see on the bench at the moment, Aidan, who you mentioned earlier, is coming on at centre to bring a bit of control. Or was he on in the last quarter?
He wasn't in the last quarter.
Oh yeah, O'Neill was on, wasn't he? So I think he's coming on for O'Neill to bring a bit of control. And other than that, it doesn't look like there's any changes. But I think if they continue to grow the lead, then in the last quarter, we'll probably see them. Because they've got you next, haven't they? Navigators last game?
Yes.
With World Mail, so I think they'd be keen to maybe rest players ready for that, which will probably be, based on the schedule so far, the most competitive
It will be maybe 6 o'clock will be that game. So next we have the Wildcats.
Yes, okay.
Yes,
So you've got both these teams.
Yes, both these teams.
So you're assessing as well as commentating at the moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad that I get an opportunity to watch this game and see the movement and see how they transition the ball from one end of the court to the next. So I too can speak to my players as to how we're going to win these games.
Yeah. And there's a balance, isn't there? You have to play your own game, but you also have to adapt to the team that you're playing against.
Absolutely.
So lots of changes for Tennessee. The goal attack has gone to goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's gone out to goal defence. The goal defence has gone out to wing attack. The old wing attack's gone to goal attack. And there's a new wing defence on, and the goal shooter stays the same. And they've got a couple have gone to the bench. So Tennessee clearly feeling like they need to do something, which is probably accurate when they're 11 down. So they decided they're going to change the game plan and see how that works. That's a good call from the umpire. The goalkeeper covered the shooter's run, he tried to barge through, and you can't do that.
World Men is transitioning the ball easier now down the court. The goal attack and captain shoots and scores.
Yeah, Tennessee definitely need to do something to slow it down. What that is, I don't know, but
they need to mark, close mark.
Yeah. I think there's one too many of them just getting drawn into the ball. When the big ball flies over, they stand there watching it. And while they're doing that, the player for the next ball has already moved behind them. And then it's too late by the time they realise. See, that's nice. That's nice play. And you can't waste the shooting opportunities. Having said that, it's a big waste from World Mail.
Yes. I think I'm just forcing the ball a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think the wing attack passed it where he wanted the goal shooter to be, but the goal shooter wasn't there.
Everybody now is playing everybody's type of game.
Yeah.
You see no control.
No control.
You see no game plan. You don't see anything here. Everybody's just playing the ball and pushing the ball and forcing the ball to do all kind of things on the court. And we don't understand that when we come, especially trying to make it into the top 4, you have to play that control game.
Lots of confusion on court there. I don't know what was happening, but the World Mail wing defence has wandered offside. It's a free play for Tennessee. See what they do with it. Wing defence will be wanting to win it back. Ooh. Not sure goal defence totally agreed with the umpire on that one.
Goal attack is making the plays into the circle. I wondered why they didn't start him at from the beginning.
Yeah, it's the experience and control that they were missing in the first. Oh, and that's good from the keeper.
Very good from the keeper.
He didn't get there, but neither did the attack, and he has to read the long passes in the same way that World Mail are doing it to his team.
They're really transitioning the ball a little bit better down the court. Very good pass from the goal.
Yeah, very nice.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's the experience, and yeah, it's good.
And
it's
the goal attack has played netball for over 2 decades.
Yeah. He's not the fastest player on the court. He's not got the biggest jump, but he is playing to his strengths, and he's dragging his team through here. It's 2 in a row for them, and that's a poor pass.
And a horrible pass from the center. The long passes, that's what I'm talking about. Now the passes are going in, and now the center feel as though his job is to take the ball all the way from down here. The reason the balls are going in easier and better is because they're actually working the ball down on top of the D. So passing the long passes from here with defenders like those will just not help your team, because they're going to read the game, and for me that was suicidal.
And I think you're right, it comes down to the mental side of it again, in that they've got a couple of goals, so in his head he gets overexcited and he thinks we can put lots of goals on them, and so suddenly it's just trying to force it in every opportunity, but actually that's not what was working, so do that again.
Go and change it.
Yeah. So the goal shooter seems to have hurt himself here when going for that ball. It looks like he might have been caught in the eye maybe. I don't think there was any intention in it, I think it's just an accidental
Yeah,
crash.
just an accident.
So Jerry, who was previously wing defence, is now goal shooter. So there seems to be a bit of a theme here for Tennessee that everyone just plays everywhere. It's a team sport, and everyone has a piece of the action in different parts of the court, which is fine.
I just hope that Jerry can actually shoot the ball. I've never seen him play that position, so I don't know if it's a new position for him.
I know he played goal attack against us as Jets yesterday. There's lots of flair and a basketball element to it, I'd say. I didn't see him take any shots. I saw him take layups. And
In this game, you're gonna need a shooter.
Yeah.
Somebody who is going to That's what I'm talking about. When you have the ball as the goal, as in this instance, the goalkeeper had the ball. The goal defense ran for the ball. You have to pass the ball to him, because if you don't, that person is going to cause the contact.
Yeah. And that's what happened there. He jumped for the ball, and he jumped into the goal attack when he didn't have the ball, and that is, as you say,
and that's a contact. Comes down to understanding the rules. What I can do if the guy, if my teammate is running for the ball, I just have to listen, especially when I see the defender coming.
Yeah.
Because if I don't give them the ball, they may cause the contact, and that's a turnover for my team.
Oh, that's unlucky. It's in the circle. Oh, another tip there.
Have to be careful. Short passes, open the court, make that transition from one, drive the middle, keep driving the paint, and that will help them to alleviate some of the turnovers.
Here we go. See there, so we have the layup
This is what I'm
from
talking
the goal
about.
shooter.
They need the reliance of a standing goal shooter.
Yeah.
Somebody, when they get the ball, they're going to score the ball.
Yeah.
This is not what we need.
No, and the layup may be effective when right under the post with no one to mark, but the World Mail players, they know netball well enough to know what to do to stop that being effective.
And this may obstruct their morale.
Yeah,
in the Tennessee
it will
camp.
cost them a lot.
Of course.
Because the goal attack was coming, I think, mostly as a feeder. And now he may be forced to do more shooting.
There's a lot of turnovers. A lot of turnovers for the Wildcats. And
they
Royal
need
Mail
to.
are capitalizing.
Yeah, exactly. It's the way they're responding to the turnovers. They need to slow it down more, because if every time they get a turnover, World Mail just do 3 passes and they're in.
From the goalkeeper.
Yeah, they're unlucky
to get
there.
that ball.
Very unlucky.
Unfortunate that he didn't actually keep the ball, or his team.
They both got hands to it, goalkeeper and goal defence.
Yes.
It's sadly rolled out.
They're not paying attention to what's happening. The goalkeeper is really marking.
He's done well
Really
there.
holding his own down there.
Very, very well.
The team just has to carry it.
And what Tennessee need to do is, when they make a mistake, they just need to make sure that they're playing as a team, because the worst thing when you make a mistake is to have your own team getting heads down, criticising. There we go, a standing shot and it's in. So he can do it. Hopefully we'll see more of that as it goes on. We've got a new centre on for Wildcats. I'm not sure I've seen this centre before, the Wildcats centre. I don't think he played in our game.
I've seen him before.
Okay.
Yes, I've seen the centre before on the Wildcats. He's new to the team.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't here last year.
Yes. He played in one of the games yesterday.
Okay.
I think you're looking at the experience from the goal attack, causing, creating the space. I just hope that the team could actually just listen and work the ball down.
So there, the goal defence has been called, I think, for persistent contact. So the umpire advanced the call. So the contact was up near the line, but she let the free pass be taken from the circle edge.
The goalkeeper.
He's having a fantastic game.
Umpire, that's an
Yeah.
exceptional call from the umpire. You see the goalkeeper working assiduously to get the ball down the court.
Yeah.
Net interception and bring his team back to some, level of consistency.
Yeah, some respectability for them.
Absolutely.
It's good for
That
the
was
goal
just
defence.
a bad pass.
Yeah.
Just the thought process in it.
Goalkeeper again.
Good call again from the good movements again from the goalkeeper. We can see how he's really working hard. The ball.
Oh,
That was
it's
a
a good
very
ball.
good pass
It's a good
from
ball.
Caswell Farmer. Experienced netball player, but was very, very good.
That's worked well for Tennessee. So the centre pass wasn't taken, so it'll be their ball when we come back.
I just would have hoped that the Wildcats will build on the energy from their goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, remember, started the game as goal attack.
Yeah.
It shows the versatility of that player.
Yeah.
And he held his own there, and then he now moved to goalkeeper. And he's playing the goalkeeper position as if that was his original position from the beginning. And the goal attack came in, which is their playmaker, and you see that he's slowly working the balls down the court. He's the playmaker there. He's working the balls, he's pushing the balls, he's making accurate, safe passes to the goal shooter.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. That should build up. That should be a build up for the other players. Take the ball, work it down, and stop rushing the balls. Open the space, close the space. Open the court, close the space. Just close the space and run right through.
Yeah.
I think they're going, and sometimes you see timing is going to play an integral role in this team. If I go and I didn't get the ball, I have to offer and I have to re-offer. So if I didn't get it, it means that I pulled a defender with me.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
some-
it's about taking that defender, like you say. Once the defender's gone, move out the space, because there's a tendency you run, you don't get it, and you stand there, and then you've got you and a defender just cluttering the court.
just cutting.
The goalkeeper is Jermaine, so he lives in England. I think he's originally from Jamaica. He lives in England now, in London. And yeah, as you say, every time I've watched him play, he plays somewhere different. So he's a versatile player, but he can shoot, and as you can see from that, he can defend. He plays in the circle. He likes to get that physical body on body with the player, so he can feel where they're going. And as you see there, he loves the flying intercept. I think for me, for World Mail now, they need to recognise that's happening, and so look to maybe throw the fake across the court, look for the direct ball in, because every time he did win it, the goal shooter was stood in the circle on their own because he had left them, and the goal defence wasn't reading it. So if they can look to do the fake and then look into him, and then for Jermaine as the keeper, it's about him mixing up. Sometimes he goes for it, other times he stays, because he can't. If he goes for it every time, they will just start to read it and pick it off, and he might get 1 in 5, but that's not effective if he's leaving the shooting circle empty. We have seen a lot of changes here from World Mail now.
Now they have a comfortable lead to use.
Yeah.
Right? They have a comfortable lead. They think they're up by 16 goals, so now they can make all the necessary changes that they think to give everybody some play time.
Yeah.
I hope this doesn't cost them.
Yeah. Some very interesting changes. So the goalkeeper, Kareem, has come off. The goal defence has gone to goalkeeper. The previous wing defence now goal defence. The shooter, Nias, has gone to wing defence. Centre has stayed the same. We've got a new wing attack on who hasn't been on yet. And then O'Neill, who was previously playing centre, is now goal attack. And Tavar, who was on the bench, has come on as goal shooter.
Good passing and good placement from the goal attack, and Jerry's definitely convert that goal.
So what we may see here is how we saw in the first quarter, with both teams making errors, getting used to the game. World Mail essentially have a new team on now. There's only one person in the position they were in at the end of the last quarter. So if they are starting to make those errors, as we've already seen, Tennessee have to capitalise on that.
Has to get back into this game. Very good interception, but he stepped out of
Unlucky,
court.
very unlucky.
Good pass from the goal attack.
And there again we see the goal attack, reading the game, recognising that the space was there, and moving them down the court quickly.
He shoots and scores.
So that's 2 goals, 2-0 for Tennessee in this quarter. The goal attack again, drawing a contact.
Oh, that's a good movement from the center. Has to understand that passing the ball in the air is not going to work for his team
Yeah,
at all.
absolutely.
And that's what he needs to understand. That was a very good pass.
Yeah.
Very good pass from the goal attack. Very
Shot
good
for the
pass
goal
from the goal
shooter.
attack. And the
Good
rebound.
rebound.
He's very good at rebounding.
Yeah, he's got good
yes,
elevation.
very good at rebounding. Very good shot.
It's 3-0 now for Tennessee in this quarter. I wonder if World Mail will be questioning the decisions they made to make changes. Very physical battle going on in the circle there between the shooter and the goal attack. A very nice pass from the goal attack, just dropping the ball. And that's their first goal, which again will be a good settler for them, I think. Get them back into this game because they've been sleeping so far in this first quarter.
They have to open the court now, especially the goal attack has to move. Has to move and open the court.
Yeah.
No rush, there's no rush.
Good pass wing attack. It was good, he was able to see round the crowding in front of him and just get that ball into the goal shoot. Had a nice angle on the hold.
Absolutely.
The wing attack just straight offside. World Mail ball.
Well, that was a good attempt.
Yeah.
Even though it was an offside, it was a good attempt from the other centre.
I think it was unlucky because that call could have just as easily been contact against the World Mail centre coming over the top.
I see something has been happening throughout the tournament. The goal shooters or goal attacks have a tendency of putting the ball on the hands of the defender. That's ball contact.
Yeah.
I know it works in their favor most times because the umpires call contact or obstruction on the defenders, but it's important that people understand that yes, you're getting away, but it's not the right thing.
And I think that's exactly the point. It happened a few times at the start of yesterday where they were bringing the ball up. Good patience from the centre there. Where they were bringing the ball up into the hands, which, as you say, is against the shooter. But once it started being called for the defenders, for the shooters, sorry, they're starting to do it more. And actually, I saw. Wow, that was lucky. Good! Oh, he's really unlucky there. Oh.
The goal defender was right over.
Half a foot over. Yeah.
His entire foot was over.
The people in the stands behind us could see it, but sadly the umpire couldn't. I think she had some players in her way.
The rebound belongs to the Wildcats.
Oh, it's a loose pass, but they'll get away with it. A World Mail hand on it, but they managed to avoid being seen. I think one thing that helps World Mail in this tournament is they have their strength in depth. Because here you see you've got 3 players who have come off the bench. 2 of them haven't played at all in the game so far, and one of them's in a completely different position. And actually, there's no real difference in the level. It's not as high, but they're not suffering because of it. And that is again good work and a good shot this time. So I think for World Mail being able to have that option.
The shooter is back.
Yeah. I was going to say, just as we say that, they're making a change. Goal attack's coming, Kurt's coming back on, I think.
They need to mark closer. I like the excitement that this attacking team is now bringing. Goal attack and the wing attack. Some excitement and some theatrics to the game. I guess that is to entertain the spectators.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for World Mail it suits them if the game is a bit theatrical, a bit physical, and they don't it doesn't become too netball-y, I guess, because they don't want to give Wildcats a chance to get back. So if they can just enjoy the game, not risk injuries, not kind of overplay it too much.
You see that there's the fast play that's going to come in where both the goal attack and the goal shooter will leave the court at the same time, and the Caswell and Kurt will take the court.
And Tennessee have actually changed their goal shooter, which I don't actually know if that's a great decision from them. I think Jerry, he was doing well. The shooting wasn't fantastically accurate, but the movement and the hold was good. They had an option into the circle, so the first one just went astray then with the shooter, but we'll have to see if it improves as it goes on. World Mail were trying to make a change, but both players are now back to the bench, so I don't know. I think there's new substitution rules this year, isn't there?
That was a good slide out movement from the goal shooter. He really moved out. And instead of getting the overhead pass, the lob passes, he just got slide out at the end. It was a
good work again from the goalkeeper. Will O'Neill go for the shot here? He will. So for those who are watching, not for this game, the other game that's just happened is Elbasan against Kinetics, and I believe it's ended 36-14 to Elbasan.
The goal defender should have jumped to get that rebound. The rebound
It's there for him. I think the goal defender risks what is often common with players, particularly male players, that when they're tall, they're not used to jumping, so they often don't have to jump, especially if they play. I don't know if he plays in maybe a mixed league where people are smaller or at a lower level. So therefore he gets into the habit of not jumping, but actually if that goal defence jumped, I'm confident he could reach the ring, and it would be something to really affect the attacking play of World Male, but as you say, he's just at the moment not getting off the floor. See again there, yeah, very good interception. It's just at the centre pass there you see again something which has been, I think, a common theme in that the whistles at the centre pass have been slightly delayed from the umpires. It's a great elevation. This game is turned into a hot mess. 10 seconds left. It's got to go in, it's got to go in, it's got to go in. Look at the time. And that'll do it. Game over. So it's a win, 35 goals to 18 for World Male. They will progress through to their final match against Navigators with 5 wins from 5 so far. Tennessee, I believe, have 3 wins and a draw, and then this loss. I think they drew with Elbasan, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And I think they lost. They've obviously lost this one, but I think they've beaten Pace Setters, Kinetics, and Jets.
Yes.
So they play you next,
They play us.
Navigators, Wildcats next, and then last game of the day is Navigators against World Male, which will be, at the moment, if things continue the way they are, that will be the kind of competition for first position, which is important because tomorrow in the finals